Good morning. So, I want to talk about the illusion of infidelity. I want to talk about how infidelity is a perception. It is your own, you cannot be cheated upon, right? So, I want to get into this subject a little bit more in depth. I've had a few people ask me about infidelity and ask me if I could do a video on the subject, and it's been kind of cooking in me. I've also gone through this myself and have come to all sorts of realizations regarding this. So give me a second. I want to get connected. In the last few days, I've been writing down a few different notes on the subject, and I'm really happy to do this video because it is also for me. You know, the realization and the connecting back to that understanding that you cannot be cheated on. Infidelity is somebody cheating on you is egocentric, and I'm going to connect this for you so that you can understand it. But it very much sits in the ego, and it very much touches our core wounds. So you could even look at this as, if you are perceiving infidelity, that you can look at this as a master class in your spiritual awakening. This is like a crash course in your core wounds. It is an opportunity to go deep and to really do some work within yourself, because overcoming infidelity, feeling that betrayal, like somebody betrayed you, somebody abandoned you, somebody not only abandoned you, but you also feel like worthless, like, oh, well, what's wrong? Why, we take it personally. What does it have to do? What, I'm not attractive. Why is this happening to me? They betrayed my trust. We get into these places of even blind trust, and we make it all about us, and then we get really, really hurt. And what happens is we also don't see our partner in this, right? So they also are hurt, because when we feel jealousy or when we feel that somebody cheated on us, we are in the center of it. We're not seeing that other person and what has brought this situation to be. We are in the victim mode. This happened to me. You did this. We blame. We sometimes come into a place where we can't have intimate relationship with that person anymore. Every time we see them, or every little argument that we get into, because that is festering, and because it is underneath everything, and because we are feeling that hurt and betrayal, and like we're not enough, and abandonment and rejection, and not being attractive in a place that is, when we are sexual with somebody, that means that we are completely vulnerable to them. We have opened up ourselves, also physically, but also emotionally, our body. We have given somebody ourselves, and then we feel this betrayal, especially if it was hidden from us for a long time. Then we really feel the betrayal, and we feel like we can't trust this person. We don't know who they are anymore. And we start, in our mind, we start imagining that they're in love with this other person, and why that this other person looks better than me, and this other person is more than I am, and I'm not enough, and all of these core wounds that come up, and these really deep hurt feelings. And if he lied to me about this, then what else is he lying to me about? It's all of a sudden you can't trust this person that is in your life that you depended on, right? Because if we are feeling betrayed, it's because we trusted, because we depended, because we have a dependency, right? Codependency, a dependency on this other person to make us feel these certain ways, to feel secure within the relationship. And this is natural. We want to feel secure within our relationships. And typically when somebody cheats, or somebody goes with somebody else, it is, and they don't tell us about it, they don't tell you about it, it is coming from their own weakness, right? This is something that they feel that they need to do, but they're afraid to tell you because they're afraid of your reaction. They feel a draw to this other person or to this situation, or for some reason of their own, they don't feel safe in the relationship to be able to tell you that, listen, I have this other want or this other need that is not getting expression. Or every time that these things. Okay, I'm going to pause this because I want to collect my thoughts. I have a whole bunch of different notes, and I want to kind of go. I want to be able to touch on all the things that I've written, but there's also more that's coming through as I'm speaking it. So hold on one second. Okay, so I think I'll start from, you cannot be cheated on, right? Because if somebody is out with another person, or they have had intercourse with another person, or they have romance with another person, it really doesn't have anything to do with us. The thought that it has to do with us is very egocentric, right? Maybe our trust was betrayed and somebody did something behind our back, which a lot of times the pain in that, it can even be more than just the infidelity. The pain in somebody did something behind my back without me knowing. I feel stupid. I feel like, how could they have done that to me? It's all about me, right? But when you realize that it's not all about you. When your partner is in a different relationship, or has slept with somebody else, or has had a romance with somebody else, it is all about them and what they feel that they need on during their human experience. And we are drawn to things that have expansion for us, right? And we have this one life timeline that we are living. And there's all sorts of experiences and healing and expansion that each and every single one of us needs to go through in order to expand. And if somebody is cheating on their relationship, it could be that they extremely value this relationship. They want to keep this relationship, but their soul feels like they need to go through a lesson with this other person. Or if that they have some kind of expansion that they can experience with this other person. When you understand that every single person is a unique being, has different archetypes, different filter, different way of being, different personality. And every single person that we meet, right? I'm with my personality and with everything that my persona and all of my faces and all of my masks and all of the work that I've gone through, every single person that I meet mirrors me in a different way. And because we're so intricate and we have so many details and so many different aspects of personality, of our God essence, that it is ridiculous to think that I can completely be satisfying to and completely reflect another person. Let's say I'm in a relationship with somebody, right? And we get along fabulously, and we are a wonderful couple, and we complement each other, and we meet on so many different levels that we want to be together and want to have this relationship together, right? But because we are both different, there is no way that I can reflect back to this person every single aspect of them, because we overlap in maybe many, many, many different ways. But I cannot be a complete reflection for this person for every single aspect that they want or need expansion in. And perhaps this person at this stage in their life, we've been together for 10 years, we've been together for 20 years, we've been together for a year, and at this stage in their life, they need to be able to feel attractive again, or to be able to feel something that this other person is able to reflect back to them that we are unable to give to them. So complete love of your counterpart is in understanding that sometimes they need things that others can give them, and be happy for them in a way that, okay, you needed this for your expansion. And sometimes it's a deal breaker. Sometimes it's just something that you have to accept, and you say, okay, can I move on from this? Is this something that I can accept? Is this something that my love is strong enough? My self-love, also understanding without devaluating myself, right? Because if my spouse went with somebody else, or my boyfriend or my counterpart, or went and had sexual relations with somebody else, that had nothing to do with me. That is their what they needed on their spiritual path. The attraction that they felt for this other person has nothing to do with my value or who I am. Even if they are making it about my value, it doesn't have anything to do with me. It has to do with them and their path and their perception and what they feel that they need during their life experience, right? So being jealous is insecurity. Being jealous, of course, I do see value in, if we have come into a committed relationship and there is, even if it's a consensus that is written under, that has never been spoken about, but there is an underlining understanding that we are together and that we trust each other, then there should be communication with this, which typically in when we are perceiving infidelity or somebody is cheating on us, then it is typically it is done without permission, and typically it isn't something that is communicated between, and that also adds to the feeling of being betrayed, because all of a sudden you can't trust this person. You counted on them to be there for you, and they went behind your back and did something without telling you that is so detrimental to the relationship that it breaks that trust, that basic trust. Whereas if they had come to you and told you, it might have broken some kind of trust, but you would still appreciate the honesty in it and see that, okay, if they're going to be doing this, either you are going to be knowing about it, at least in that way. But most people don't have the maturity or the self, it takes a very strong being to be able to come and put something like that forward in a relationship to gain that trust. Typically a lot of times, most of the time, those things are not communicated, and then they're kind of done behind your back. But that also shows mistrust in you. They don't trust. First of all, they're not strong enough and don't trust themselves to be able to stand in front of you and bring themselves forward. So it's also an insecurity on their part, but it's also that they don't trust you to be able to accept this within the relationship, and they don't want to lose you, or typically it's because they don't even want to face themselves in it. They don't have the power, the internal strength to come and bring this part of them forward. And so it's easier for them to do it behind your back, and a lot of times it's really sloppy. It's not done with a lot of intention. It's, oh, I'm attracted and I'm going to run after this, and it's not something that they comprehend even what they're doing. They don't understand that this is something that they are doing for their own expansion, or something that they feel that they need right now in order to feel a certain way or to get a life lesson. Typically, it's just they feel like they're running after their pants. But it is never that. It is always something. Everything that we do, every action that we take is a reflection of our what is going on inside. So if somebody is betraying or perceiving that they're betraying you, imagine the emotion that is within that. That is a very negative, nasty emotion. And there's so many different ways. There's so many different reasons that people will be infidels, will cheat or betray. There's so many different reasons. Sometimes the reasons are they feel demasculated, and they feel that they feel that you are better than them or stronger than them, or that, I've had this situation before where they don't feel worthy of you, and they feel less than you. So if they can go and do this behind your back without you knowing, then they have one up, and they feel all of a sudden satisfied in that place. They feel masculine. They feel like, oh yeah, I can I'm attractive. I can get anyone I want. So it's an infidelity really. When it's done from that place, it's done from a place of complete weakness. And so when you understand that you cannot be cheated on, it doesn't have anything to do with you. It has everything to do with them. With them needing to feel this, with them not being satisfied, with their own weakness, right? When you can perceive also with whatever they need from that other relationship, it doesn't have anything to do with you or your value. And when you completely love somebody, when you can completely love somebody, like your children, right? If your child goes out and has a relationship with this person, a relationship with that person, you will still love them, and you will still see that they needed to be with this person because this person gives them a certain reflection of a certain aspect of them. They needed that closeness, or whatever that person has to offer. It might not be that it might not be somebody that they want to even spend their life with, but something in the dynamic of the relationship is meeting a place in them that has unmet needs, that for its own expansion, right? We can see within ourselves, we have all of these different needs. We have all of these different aspects of self, and with some people, certain aspects meet them and get reflections back and get stimulation, and sometimes this person, you have other aspects of your own self-being that they simply are not connected to. And so you are, I have a phone call, so I'm going to pause this. That was my mother, so I wanted to answer it. So I just want to go over this is a good conversation. I just want to go over all of the notes that I have here. Feeling jealousy is insecurity. So feeling jealousy is not feeling whole within yourself. When you are whole within yourself, when you are that magnetic being, you are uncheatable upon. If somebody is, you can see it for what it is. And not only that, when you have that complete unconditional love for someone, then you can see it in a way of being happy for them, that they are getting certain needs of theirs met, that they need this other person for for some of their own expansion, and you can be happy for them. You can be accepting of that. You can be in that way you also gain their trust. And when you have that kind of trust in somebody and that kind of unconditional love for somebody, many times what it does is it makes that person feel like, okay, let me what are the pros and the cons on this? Do I really want to, am I really gaining enough from this infidelity, or from, because when somebody goes and is intimate with somebody else, they are closing your intimacy towards them. And then they start putting this on the scale. Do I really, is this really worth losing parts of this intimacy over here? And a lot of times when you are that complete open flower, and like, you can go and do what you want, it's not a reflection of me. I can accept it, but there are prices to pay, that there are cause and effect in the world. And if you are doing this, then you are losing something here. And when what is over here, what is over here is so sweet and so accepting and such a lifeline and a place of complete abundance and holding you up and unconditional love. Sometimes they don't want, their own the expansion that they receive is letting go of this and whatever expansion that is, because they are able to rise to that place of, I don't want this in place of what I am losing over here. And when you come into that place where you know your worthiness and you know exactly who you are, and whoever is with you, it's a privilege that you are allowing them to be with you, because you know who you are, you know you are divine, and when you are with me, you also know that you are divine, because I am holding that space of divinity, right? In order, if I am at this level of divinity, if you are rising up to be with me at this level of divinity, it is a privilege. You know that you are also divine. And a lot of times that is like the sweetness of it. That is the sugar pie. That is the total blessing of it. And a lot of times gaining this is of much more value than obtaining whatever this infidelity would have given you if you choose this, right? So a lot of times it allows them to also, holding that space of unconditional love for them allows them to do the math. They may even go and do this a few times to realize that, if you want somebody to choose you, knowing, not feeling like, oh, I can't do that and I have to be with her. Yeah, she won't let me do this, right? You want them to choose you feeling like they have already spent all their wild horses, right? They've already what is it? The wild seed, I don't know, wild oats. They've already gone out and tried everything and realized that the sweetness of there is the I'm at a loss for words. I'm going to pause this for a second. There's perfect words here. So it's like delayed gratification. I'm not finding the perfect words, but it's like delayed gratification. It's taking something that it's like would I prefer to have a candy now, or would I prefer to wait and then I get like this total sweetness, like the pie at the end of the meal, right? So it's kind of like delayed gratification, but not exactly. It's like going for a small piece of cake or the whole cake, right? Getting a little bit of satisfaction here, but then you see that it's just surface satisfaction, because it doesn't have that full sweetness flavor to it, right? What is over here, it might be a quick gratification, but it doesn't allow you to have the full gratification. So it's a very different way of looking at things. And if you are able to hold that space, especially on the twin flame journey, right? Because you are connected. If you are able to hold that space of unconditional love, sometimes, first of all, if somebody is doing that, a lot of times you're like, okay, well, I just don't want that in my life. And you take and the attraction goes away. The attraction kind of, because you are knowing and because you've gone into that place of you want a valuable relationship in which you can thrive, in which you can trust, in which you don't always have to be checking your back. Is something going on that I don't know about, right? So a lot of times you just lose the attraction there to have that kind of relationship with that person. And when you start pulling your attraction back, and you start pulling your own attention back to yourself, and you kind of start releasing them, they can feel that energy. And when they feel that energy, then they start doing, they're allowed to do the internal work. And see, sometimes it's just too late. Sometimes you don't even want that anymore. It's like when you bypass it, it's already gone. The ship sailed. What to do? But it's always about getting over it, right? It's not about, I can't forgive you, so I'm not going to be with you, and I'm going to take that non-forgiveness with me for the rest of my life, right? Because that is what we're coming back to, that this is an opportunity for you to do major work inside. Because once you realize that that has nothing to do with you, that has to do with their life path and what they felt like they needed, or what they feel like they needed to masculate themselves or to fulfill themselves in a certain way, or this other person reflects to them different aspects of them that you don't especially reflect to them, right? Because every single person is made up of so many different God aspects, right? We can't, just like there isn't one person that can, except for a twin flame, there's not one person that can reflect every single aspect of you back to yourself. Then you can't expect to reflect every single aspect and meet every single need of somebody else. And who wants to anyway? Well, I'm having my own life experience here. I want to be able to live my life at the fullest. And not only that, when you see, hey, Lola, calm down. When you see, like, whenever you feel about yourself, when you have been in intimate relationships with other people, it was always about your connection with that person and not about other people. So if you're perceiving somebody to be cheating on you, it doesn't have anything to do with you. It has to do with the closeness that they feel with this other person. And for me to be jealous that they feel closeness to another person is not unconditional love for them. It's not wanting their best interest for them. It's all about me. It's egocentrical. It's like, what does that mean about me? I want you to only be close to me. I don't want you to have a life experience unless I am involved in it. It's all about me. I don't care if you have a satisfying relationship with them and you felt like you needed that because your being was attracted to their being. I don't care about you. I care about what it means about me. It makes me feel insecure. It makes me feel jealous. It makes me feel like I'm not worthy. It makes me feel unattractive. It makes me feel like I was betrayed. It makes me feel like I'm not enough. It makes me feel and imagining again and again and again that, oh, they're touching them and what they feel with them, and we're exaggerating it, right? Because a lot of times we know within ourselves that we've had relationships that we were drawn to for some kind of something that we had to go through in our life experience, and knowing that we only have this one life experience, and having this partner that we're trying to reduce their life experience. They feel like they need to go through this, what if they get to their old age, and may they live for 100 and some years, and they're on their deathbed and they're like, why didn't I experience this or that? Or, a lot of times we've been in a relationship for 20, 30 years, and all of a sudden, somebody forgot about their flirty side, or somebody forgot certain aspects of themselves that they haven't experienced in years and years and years. Don't we want our life partner to have the maximum that life has to offer for them? Don't we want them to expand? Don't we want for them what they want for themselves? And a lot of times in this allowance, right? Because pure love is pure allowance. It's like, go experience your life. I want somebody that allows me to go and experience my life fully. I was in a relationship with my ex-husband who was very jealous, and I couldn't even speak with men without him going totally ballistic. And if I did speak with men, even if it was just something in passing, work related, I was able to. I'm exaggerating a little bit, but for the most part, if it was a friendly conversation, I would hear about it for days afterwards. Not only would I hear about it, but he would be upset with me and mad at me for nothing. And what it did to me is make me completely just I didn't have a want to be to cheat or to go to betray as I portrayed it then. So what it made me do is just completely almost like not speak with men anymore. And what that does is it narrows your whole life experience, because half of the population are men, and all of your flirtiness, is if you're attracted to men, then the whole aspect of your own flirtiness and your femininity, has a whole role that it can play with men. Even if you're married, the sexuality, without being sexual, being able to be in that place of kind of a little bit flirty, or playing that, it comes to role playing anyway within life. In every situation, there is an assessment of man, woman. There is always sexuality in every single encounter, whether it is I'm attracted to this person, or whether it is I'm not attracted to this person. We always evaluate that when we meet other women. Is this woman attractive, or is this woman? We are always in this gameplay, and it doesn't mean anything. It's not something that has to mean anything, but it's there. Sexuality is in every single. It's always there, because sexuality entails every single aspect of us. And that's coming back to the vulnerability, that if we are in a sexual relationship to somebody, that means that we are completely vulnerable with them. That means that we trust them. That's why having like one night stands or like meaningless sexual encounters is not really meaningless. It's you are opening your soul, you are opening your body in the most intimate way to this person. And if you are doing it in a way that, if you are doing it with people that you don't have a soul connection with, first of all, it is binding you to this person, because having sexual relations is one person's body. Your bodies are connecting, are combining. And I felt this in relationships, that it also, if a woman typically, not always, but there's so many different people, I can't say always, but typically when you have a sexual relationship with somebody, it does kind of bind you. And even if you didn't have that attraction, that initial attraction to them, you start feeling that connection to this person. That's why sexuality is so sacred. That's why first you have to create that bond and make sure that it's somebody that you want to tie yourself to, because as you start having sexual relations with somebody, you start becoming bonded and you start tying yourself to somebody. This is getting kind of long, so I want to make sure that I'm so perception. Infidelity is a perception. It is perceiving that somebody can cheat on me, which they can't. You are one entity. If somebody chooses to do that, it's not about you, and they can't cheat on you. That is just your expectation. And I understand that we sometimes we come to expectations that we bring together, but it really is just a perception. You are whole within yourself. And this is kind of, what I told my husband before we got divorced, and it was something that I realized, is that, wait a minute, this is voluntary. If I am in this relationship, it's because I volunteer to be in this relationship. It isn't a given. It is by choice. So so you cannot be cheated upon. You are an individual. You get to choose, right? But it hurts. I understand that it hurts, and I understand that it's difficult sometimes to get beyond it. I've had to get beyond it myself. And whether it means that if you decide to stay with this person, you have to get to that place of complete forgiveness and not bring it up in every single little argument, because that is like keeping it alive, and it's keeping your own insecurity alive. It's keeping the blame alive. Somebody that is constantly getting a reminder of what they did, they can't win in it, right? Because it's past. It already happened. It's not something that they can't go back and erase it. And so it's constantly punishing somebody consistently and constantly. That will ruin the relationship. The relationship is doomed if you can't forgive. You have to be able to forgive. Otherwise, it's not a relationship that's worth keeping. And also, you didn't rise to the occasion. You didn't do the internal work. Yeah, this, like I said in the beginning, this is an opportunity to do some really It's such a big opportunity to do your own self-work on your abandonment issues and your self-worthiness and what this means about you. It is one of the biggest opportunities that you have for spiritual work. And whether you stay or you don't stay, this is also an opportunity to put the relationship back on the table. Okay, let's look at this relationship again. Let's check it out. Reassess. Is this a relationship that I want to go forward in my life with, or is this something that right now is the opportunity? This has come in to show me that the relationship is not proper. You get to reevaluate what you feel. You get to reevaluate your take on it, how you want to progress in this. You get to reevaluate. So it's also an opportunity for that. It's bringing the relationship back up for choice. It's getting yourself out of that monotone relationship. You get to choose again. You get to, if you re-choose the relationship, then you re-choose it because you want to be in it and because you love that other person, because you have that unconditional, you want to see them expand. And then you have to treat that, what you perceive as infidelity, you have to treat it with love. They did that because they needed to do that in their life experience. It was for them, for their expansion, and be happy for them that they had that opportunity to re-choose you as well, to go through that and then come back and re-choose you. And it's also an opportunity to open up honesty in a relationship. If the other person is not willing to be honest about it, you can't stay in a relationship with them, because that just means that, first of all, they don't trust you to be honest with you. Second of all, they're not strong enough to be honest with you. They're not willing to take responsibility for what they did and really look at it and see what, they're not doing the spiritual work, and you have no place in that because it'll just repeat, right? If they didn't get the lesson from it and understand why they did it or how they did it, or they're not choosing you knowing what they did, then they're still sleeping in that place, and then you have nowhere to go with them. You can't progress with them. So either you have to allow them space to fully go through that, and by holding on to them and blaming them, you're not giving them space to go through it, because by holding on to them, they're still fighting for the right. I have the right to do this. It's my, blah, blah, blah. I was attracted. So what? You're wrong. If you are being jealous, you're wrong. It doesn't matter what. It's not gracious. Jealous is not gracious, and it's certainly not feeling like you're self-worthy. And so if you are being jealous and non-acceptant of what happened and fighting against and blaming, then they're going to be in that place of defending themselves and defending what they did, or in denial. I didn't do it. No, I didn't do it. And they get so far stuck in that lie that they can't correct it, which means that you have no base there to continue the relationship. If they're not willing to bring it up to the surface and to speak about it openly, you cannot repair or mend this place. And if you continue to blame them and continue to feel the insecurity within the relationship, you cannot build trust, because you don't trust them. If it's still coming up and you still are like, but you did this, you did that, you're blaming them, that's the opposite of trust. So you can't build a relationship without trust. And part of the trust can be, if you want to do this again, I expect and want you to be able to come to me and tell me and allow me to make a choice if I want to stay in the relationship or not. Because a lot of times that's why they don't tell you. They're afraid you're going to leave them, and they don't know that they want this other thing. They just want certain aspects of it, or sexual aspects of it, or whatever they want from it, whatever they're getting from it. Typically, it's not just sexual, because the sexual part is feeding into their self-security, their masculinity, what they feel about themselves, the excitement that it brings into their life. It's feeding other aspects. It's not just about getting your rocks off. There's so much more to it. And so if they're not willing, so they have to be able to give you, if they love you unconditionally, they have to be able to give you the opportunity to choose before, right? If you're feeling this way about another woman, you're feeling this way about another person, and you feel like you need to go and experience that, give me the choice if I want to tag along. Or if I feel like, okay, if you're doing that, then let me go. Let me go. You go do that. I'll be doing my other thing. And when if, when, whatever, in the future we can reassess. But right now, give me the choice if I want to stay or don't want to stay. But if I choose to stay, then I have to accept it, and I have to forgive, and I have to see it in a way that is empowering. I can't see it in a way of weakness, and I have to be able to empower them as well in it. Understand them, have that unconditional love, which I understand this is like one of the major lessons. This is like one of the biggest. Let me see what else I wrote here. Egocentric, we already talked about that. True love is an allowance. Yeah, if you truly love someone, you want to see them expand. You want to see them flourish. You want to see them live life to the fullest. This is just one lifetime. Go experience life. Do it. I want somebody to be in my life that treats me in that way. And maybe if somebody is in my life that treats me in that way, there will be no other person that will draw me to want to go and have that kind of intimacy with them, because I have intimacy that answers all of my needs. So true love is an allowance. Okay, it doesn't mean anything about me or our connection, right? If somebody is if somebody is cheating on you, it doesn't mean anything about you or the connection that is between us. It is all about them and their connection with this other person, or it is all about them. It is all about their experience of what they feel within our relationship and what they feel within this other relationship, or what they feel that they need right now in their life experience. But it doesn't have to do with me. And a lot of times it is a gift to me to wake up, wake up, wake up. There's other flavors in life. I know that it's like a really difficult wake-up call, and it hurts, and it like bends you all out of shape. But isn't this whole spiritual awakening like that? Everything that we go through is processing within our own ego things, overcoming the places that we're stuck. Dependencies and addictions kind of fall into the same kind of category. So relationships cannot thrive in victim mode. So if you're jealous, you are a victim of circumstances. You are being the victim. He did this to me. He did that to me. How dare him? What does it mean about me? It's all about me. I am the victim of this. How dare you? And that isn't a place that allows them to grow, or a place that allows you to grow. And it's also insecurity. Victim mode is giving away your power. If you are a victim, you don't have power in the situation. And we always have power in our own lives. We're the only ones that have power in our own lives. Even if we're taking all of our power and giving it to somebody else, it's still we are the ones with the power giving our power away. Nobody else has power in our lives. I mean, unless we're stuck in a dungeon somewhere. But even then, we have power in our own mind. Nobody can tell us what to think or what to feel. It's all in our own perception. It's all in our own life experience. And if you are here watching this video, it means you have internet. It means that you are living in a fairly free world. Whether you see your outside circumstances as what you want them to be or not, I'm seeing that this getting a little bit off subject, is that this spiritual awakening is aligning your thoughts and your beliefs also with your actions. And I've been seeing, even in the last week, places that my thoughts and what I say, my words, are not 100% aligned with my actions. And I'm working on this. I'm bringing my life is becoming so much more tight, so much tighter than if I say something and I believe something, then my actions need to follow and back that up. I am a little bit under the weather. I have a little bit of a cold in these last few days. So true love is an allowance. It doesn't mean anything about me or our connection. Relationships cannot thrive in victim mode. Feeling jealousy is insecurity. So we've already gone through this. Feeling jealousy is insecurity. Definitely. It's not feeling like I am enough. It's like it's like wanting to hold this person next to me, because if they go out and they see other people, then maybe they'll leave me. Maybe they'll find somebody that's better than me. Maybe that relationship over there is giving them things that I can't give them. It's all about me. It's the egocentric. It's all stuck in the ego. Any kind of jealousy is insecurity. It's believing that I'm not enough. That if I have to be jealous, that means that I have to be holding on to this person in order to keep them next to me, because I feel like I'm not enough. And if they expand, they may expand beyond me. And then I might lose them. I mean, I might lose my lifeline because I don't feel enough within myself. When you feel enough within yourself, you don't have to be jealous. There's, maybe jealousy comes up to teach you something, but then you can go through it and you can process it emotionally. And you can realize that there is no purpose in jealousy. There's purpose in it, but there is no, you don't want to sit in jealousy. It's a pass-through emotion. It's an emotion that's come to teach you something. It's legitimate. But it is also a building emotion. It's something that you feel jealousy, and then you're like, oh, let go. If they want to go that way, it just means that they're out of alignment with me or with what we have built here, or they are. You have to bring it up for assessment. So if you're feeling jealousy, it's natural. But it's also a pass-through emotion. It's come to teach you something. It's come to teach you self-esteem. It's come to teach you to get back your own strength. And then you cannot be cheated on. You can't be cheated on. It's not about you. When you come into that place where you have that complete self-love and that complete love of another, unconditional, it's not about you. It's about wanting them to have their life. So you need this right now in your experience. Go for it. Whether I'm going to stay or not stay is my decision, or I have the power in it. But if that is what you feel like you need, I don't want to hold you back from that. And if you feel like you need that, even though I'm in your life, then I guess that is more important right now for your expansion than whatever this experience, it doesn't even have to be this or that. It all depends on the players in the game. But you cannot be cheated on when you are in full self-awareness and full self achievement or actualization, because it's not about you. You can't be cheated on unless you are trying to hold somebody into a tight little if they're doing something, it's in their life, it's their expansion. It's not there's always relativity, but it's not about you. It's about them and their expansion. Okay, they need something to grow from. Let them go and get full in this place. So that is the last. I think that I've already talked about this. I can see that this video is really long now, but it's very important, and I think I've touched on a lot of different places in it, including sexuality, and so I'm just gonna go ahead and end this here. So sending you guys so much love. If you guys have any questions or videos that you want me to do to subjects to touch on, please write in the notes. You can write me a note, and if it's something that I feel like I have added value to add to, or if it is something that a lot of people are interested in, then I can do a video on the subject. So sending you guys so much love. Thank you for watching. So a really quick add-on to this, and then I have to get busy, is that knowing within ourselves when we have had an encounter with somebody that we are attracted to, whether it's sexual or not sexual, whether it's just a really good conversation that we had with somebody, or somebody that we feel attracted to and that we can feel that are attracted to us, and what that gives us within our own lives, right? And even if we are in a relationship and we don't have an intention of being with this other person, or pursuing a relationship, a romantic relationship with them, sometimes just the encounter itself is meaningful. It allows us to feel attractive again. It allows us to use our feminine skills with somebody that is new. It allows us to have a meaningful conversation with somebody and an interesting perspective, realize an interesting perspective. And we can see within ourselves that when we have these encounters, it has nothing to do with the love that we feel for our life partner, right? We can be completely in love with our life partner and completely dedicated to the relationship and completely dedicated to their emotions and to their livelihood and to we can completely hold them up in the place that um, uh, in that love, right? We can completely hold them up and watch them flourish and still have this encounter over here that doesn't have to mean anything other than for my own expansion. Or and you can have this flirt over here even knowing that you're attracted to this other person in certain ways, in certain aspects, and it doesn't mean anything about your relationship. And when you have a life partner that can accept that they hold you up and they're like, okay, you want to go talk to this other person and expand your experience with them, go for it, enjoy yourself. And they're holding you up and they're being there with you. And that feels, there's such a security within that. There is such a beauty within that. And you can also see within yourself that when you're having this conversation with this other person or this encounter with this other person, it doesn't mean anything about your love for this person. So when you can be in this side of it, and even if you have a hug or some kind of encounter with this person, it doesn't have to mean anything about your relationship with this person or how you feel about this person or the love that you have for this person. When you can see that within yourself, you can kind of also let go of your partner to have those kinds of encounters. When you're that secure within yourself and within the relationship, you can also allow them to have those encounters the same and be happy for them. And not only be happy for them, encourage them, because when they do that, it just like when you have this flirty relationship over here, it builds you up. It allows you to know different aspects of your own self. It allows fluid. It allows you to be fluid. It allows you to keep that flirty side of yourself alive, and your main relationship can benefit from that. Whereas, when you are completely like shut out over here, not allowed to look, not allowed to have any kind of conversation, not allowed to, there's certain aspects of yourself that go to sleep and that aren't kept alive and flourished and fed. And so you are dampening and reducing your life experience. Even just knowing that you have the option and that you don't go, even just knowing that you have that option keeps your inner self fluid. It keeps you knowing that you can and that you have the option. It keeps you moving and keeps your mind open to all the different things that life has to offer. And in any case, if I am with a partner and they want to be with this other person rather than be with me, why would I want to keep them held to me? Why do I want to keep somebody that would rather not be with me and would rather be with somebody else? Why would I want to hold somebody in place, hold somebody with me that doesn't want to be with me for my own security? And maybe they'll stay because they feel secure with me and they know that I'll never leave them because of all my insecurities. But why would I want that? Why would I want somebody in my life as my life partner that would rather be with somebody else? I wouldn't. I want to feel cherished and loved and enhanced and flourishing and accepted and attractive, and I want to feel all of the fullness that a relationship, and loved and sought after and appreciated within my relationship. And if I have all those things within my relationship, why would I wander? I want to have all of those things within my relationship. So if somebody that is with me doesn't want to be with me, or somebody that is with me wants to go and explore other options, then I certainly don't want to hold them with me like, no, I'm going to hold you like a ball and chain to me. I'm not getting the goodies not from my partner and not from the relationship if I have to hold somebody in there to be with me. I'm not receiving everything that life has to offer and all that relationships have to offer. So sending you guys so much love. Thank you for watching.